Welcome to Streaming Into the Voids, What's New in Streaming, where we discuss the highlights of what's available for you to stream the week of November 11th. I'm Kim Hollis, and with me are Raul Buriel, Tim Bridey, and David Mumpower. We will start with Hulu and The Ladybird Diaries coming November 13th. This documentary tells the story of one of the most influential and least understood first ladies in history, Lady Bird Johnson, using her own audio diaries. Next up is A Murder at the End of the World, a limited series coming November 14th.
Darby and 8 other guests are invited by a reclusive billionaire to participate in a retreat at a remote location. When one of the other guests is found dead, Darby must use her skills to prove it was murder before the killer takes another life. I will say this description does not do this series justice. The trailer at least looks incredibly atmospheric and moody. It is also gorgeous to look at. I don't know if they're trying to aim this to a younger audience or what, but I think this one should really get a lot more respect from Hulu than it's getting.
Isn't this just the most recent Knives Out movie?
Maybe, but this one is definitely much darker and dramatic.
On November 15th is Brawn, the Impossible Formula One Story, a limited series.
Witness one of the most incredible sagas in Formula One history, the story of Brawn GP. This is presented by Keanu Reeves, and the gripping 4-part series offers exclusive first-hand insights from racing legends, and it highlights the drama both on and off the track. And if you think stories like this can't be gripping, you need to watch Ron Howard's Rush.
On November 16th is Drive with Swizz Beatz, Season 1.
Hip-hop legend and car collector Swizz Beatz and son Nasir Dean visit car-loving destinations where they'll examine the area's distinctive car culture and bring together 2 otherwise disparate car clubs over a shared love of all things automotive and an appreciation for what it's like to beat the odds through sheer drive alone.
And our final new Hulu release for the week is The Secret Life of Dancing Dogs, a limited series coming November 17th. This 6-part docuseries follows a pack of handlers and their canine counterparts from all over the globe as each prepares a dog-human duet worthy to compete at the world's greatest dog show, Crufts, in England. Our heroes leap, pirouette, and hop, hoping the judges will crown them the champion. We now move on to Netflix and How to Become a Mob Boss, a limited series coming November 14th.
This darkly satirical how-to guide explores the rise and fall of history's most notorious mob bosses and their tactics for success. This seems to be part of a franchise at Netflix now, as I believe they had a similar series called How to Become a Cult Leader.
They're going to get gradually darker until we get to How to Become a Venture Capitalist, finally concluding with How to Become a Social Media Owner.
It's funny because How to Become a Serial Killer is above those.
Next up is the Netflix Cup, a live event coming November 14th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
What? Formula One drivers and PGA Tour golfers team up for a star-studded sports competition at the Wynn Las Vegas golf course. I'm going to say it again. What?
Netflix's first live sporting event.
Oh, okay.
The timing, of course, is entirely related to the Las Vegas Formula One, which is on November 18th. So what better time to gather a bunch of Formula One racers than just a couple of days before they actually have to be racing?
On November 15th is Crashing Eid, Season 1.
When Razan's British-Pakistani fiancé crashes her Saudi family's Eid celebrations, she attempts to convince them that he is a suitable match.
We move on to November 16th and The Crown, Season 6, Part 1. Queen Elizabeth II reflects on her legacy and lineage as Diana dazzles the public in the final weeks of her life, and the monarchy faces a reckoning. Also coming November 16th is In Love and Deep Water.
In this Japanese film, romance, mystery, and mayhem unfold aboard a luxury liner headed for the Aegean Sea when a butler and a passenger try to solve a baffling murder.
Also new on November 16th is Best Christmas Ever.
Okay. Well, now we're talking. It stars Brandy and Heather Graham, who've been looking for a project to do together for some time. It's a twist of fate that lands Charlotte and her family at her old college friend Jackie's house only days before Christmas. She seizes the opportunity to prove her old friend's life isn't as wonderful as it seems from her holiday newsletter. This sounds like holiday beef, I think.
Yep. Jason Biggs is also in this one.
I'm glad somebody found him.
Yep. Another new November 16th release is Mutt.
Trans man confronts his past after bumping into his ex-boyfriend, sister, and dad for the first time since transitioning, all within the span of a day.
On November 17th is Believer 2. In this Korean film, a determined detective continues his search for the truth behind Asia's largest drug organization and its elusive boss he has unfinished business with. Oh boy, here we go. CoComelon Lane Season 1 is coming November 17th.
CoComelon's first ever dialogue-driven series with new storylines and songs that cover developmental milestones like getting a first haircut and visiting the dentist's office to more influential moments like being invited to a friend's house for dinner and learning how to take care of a family pet.
Sorry, it's intimate instead of influential, but I like influential better.
Oh, and here come the CoComelon spinoffs. Great.
Exactly.
We've been talking about CoComelon since the inception of this podcast, and with God as my witness, this is the first time I realized it doesn't have dialogue. I knew it had songs. I just assumed there was talking. Is it just music all the time?
Clearly, none of us have watched CoComelon. Another new November 17th release is The Dads.
On a fishing trip with Matthew Shepard's father, 5 disparate dads discuss their lives, hopes, and fears for their trans kids in this short documentary.
Another new November 17th release is Holy Family Season 2.
Season 2. Haunted by the past, Gloria will stop at nothing to carve out a future for her family while new schemes and mysteries bubble up in the neighborhood.
November 17th also brings Nothing to See Here Season 1. Alexis, a young blind man who dreams of being a successful comedian, moves to Mexico City, the world's biggest city, accompanied by his best friend, Charlie, who has cerebral palsy. What could go wrong? Here's the one of the week. I don't even need to go any further. It's Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, coming November 17th.
Technically, this one is supposed to be mine. However, I went and saw Scott Pilgrim on opening night with someone who cosplayed as Ramona Flowers. It feels like that person should read this. Please go ahead.
All right. With the entire cast from the 2010 movie adaptation returning, this anime series based on the graphic novels by Brian Lee O'Malley, who also wrote the screenplay here, will make at least one member of this podcast team very happy. That someone is me. I'm the person. And we close out all of the Netflix releases with Rustin coming November 17th.
With an all-star cast including Chris Rock, Glenn Turman, Jeffrey Wright, and Audra McDonald, from director George C. Wolfe and starring Coleman Domingo as Bayard Rustin, architect of 1963's momentous March on Washington. Rustin challenged authority and never apologized for who he was, but was forgotten despite making history. Rustin spotlights the man who, along with Martin Luther King Jr., dared to imagine a different world and inspired a movement.
All right. Disney Plus has one new release this week, and it is coming on December 17th. It's a movie called Dashing Through the Snow.
Ludacris stars as Eddie, a good-hearted man who has turned his back on Christmas due to a traumatic childhood experience. When he and his daughter meet a mysterious man in a red suit on Christmas Eve, Eddie thinks the man is delusional and needs professional help. It stars Lil Rel as the man in the red suit. Now I want to go back in time like 20 years and say, hey, Ludacris, here's your future.
Yes. I want you to do that too. Okay, we move on to Max and Albert Brooks, Defending My Life, coming November 11th. Rob Reiner joins Albert Brooks for a look back at his career, featuring interviews with some of the biggest comedians and actors in the industry.
This one looks great. I love the trailer, and it did make me say, wait a minute, Albert Brooks isn't dead, is he? No, he's not. This one's going to be fantastic. A very entertaining watch.
And if you've never watched it, you should check out Defending Your Life, which is pretty much a masterpiece by Albert Brooks.
He's also the guest voice in my favorite Simpsons episode ever, which is You Only Move Twice. Also new from Max is Love Has Won, coming November 13th.
This 3-part docuseries is about an obscure religious group, Love Has Won, that had been run by Amy Carlson before her death was discovered in 2021.
Sounds grim. November 14th brings another documentary called How We Get Free.
Over the course of 2 years, this documentary follows Elizabeth Epps as she works to end cash bail on all fronts, from bailing people out of jail to protesting in the streets to running for office as one of the first abolitionist candidates in Colorado.
And our final new Max release is Julia Season 2, coming November 16th.
Season 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this season picks up with Julia attempting to reckon with her rising celebrity and how it affects her work life, future ventures, and marriage. But even with new challenges and opportunities, Julia and her team will continue the hard work to pioneer a female-driven public television show and confront pressing social issues in the process.
For everyone who's forgotten, and that's everyone,
yeah.
This is a Max series about the life and times of celebrity chef Julia Child.
I had no idea until I clicked the thumbnail. I was like, oh, okay, it's Julia Child. Okay.
This gets additional seasons and we get no more of the Lakers show? What?
Yeah. Paramount Plus will debut JFK, What the Doctors Saw, a limited series on November 14th. This documentary reveals startling medical observations about JFK's wounds when 7 doctors who were in the Parkland Hospital ER reunite to discuss a day none of them can forget.
Yes, let's overanalyze the single most overanalyzed moment in American history.
Yes. Well, if you want to get out of America, well, we've got NCIS Sydney Season 1 coming November 14th.
Sydney will be the first international installment of the NCIS franchise and the 5th series overall.
Wait, I've seen commercials for this during watching football on Paramount Plus. Was this supposed to be a streaming exclusive? And then because they have no actual shows because of the strikes, they're putting it on CBS too?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Okay.
I think you're right, yes.
Okay.
On November 15th is a movie called The Crusades.
On the verge of revolutionary change at their all-boys private high school, 3 friends set out to have one last great weekend while dodging authority, love affairs, and violent foes in the longest weekend of their lives. This movie will air on Showtime, which means you can only watch it on Paramount Plus if you have the package.
And our final Paramount Plus release, technically a Paramount Plus with Showtime release, we have Dead Shot coming November 15th.
A retired Irish paramilitary member witnesses the fatal shooting of his pregnant wife by a British SAS officer. After outwitting the SAS, he escapes, now wounded and presumed dead, taking his revenge to the dark and paranoid streets of 1970s London.
Take that, Hallmark.
Yeah.
Yep, and this one does have Felicity Jones, so at least has a recognizable name or two in the cast. We move on to Peacock, and you can tell that the holiday season is effectively here, as Everything Christmas will air on November 11th. This is, of course, a Hallmark Channel movie. Lori Jo's love for Christmas takes her on a road trip to Yuletide Springs, where Christmas is celebrated year-round. Along the way, she and her friend, Tori, meet Carl and Jason, and the foursome make stops during their journey to enjoy more small-town Christmas attractions. The next Christmas movie is Christmas Island, coming November 12th.
When a snowstorm diverts Kate's first private flight en route to Switzerland to Christmas Island, she must team up with an air traffic controller to secure her dream job as the family's pilot. And I'm not joking, this sounds like a Stephen King story.
2 things. First of all, Raul was on take 72 on that, no joke, because it was so ridiculous. He went into a giggle loop. He's back again. And 2, Kim and my most frequent Alexa request at this time of the year is for Alexa to play Christmas Island, the Jimmy Buffett thing. And even we aren't going to watch this, are we, babe?
Hell no. Our next Christmas movie is A Heidelberg Holiday, coming November 13th.
Raul, would you like to read this one too? Heidi receives the dream opportunity to sell her beautiful handmade glass ornaments at the prestigious Heidelberg Christmas market in Germany. While there, she meets Lucas, a local artisan who helps her reconnect with her lost heritage. And after this week is over, I'm expecting people to rank Carl, Jason, Lucas, and the air traffic controller for hotness, okay? Don't let me down here, Hallmark fans.
All right, we have a non-Hallmark movie next, and it is Please Don't Destroy, The Treasure of Foggy Mountain, coming November 17th.
Please Don't Destroy are a group of SNL writers who usually do the video shorts on the episode. They're kind of like a great value, Lonely Island, but they're there. John Goodman narrates the adventure of three childhood friends turned deadbeat coworkers who fend off hairless bears, desperate park rangers, and a hypocritical cult leader in the hopes of finding a priceless treasure, only to discover that finding the treasure is the easiest part of their journey.
What?
The real treasure was the friends we made along the way, okay?
That's right. Our final new Peacock release is also from Hallmark, and it is A World Record Christmas, coming November 17th. Charlie is an autistic boy determined to set a Guinness World Record by stacking 1,400 Jenga blocks. His mother and stepfather encourage him to reach for his dream, and they all celebrate when he gets the good news that he'll get his chance on Christmas Eve. Okay, we move on to Amazon Prime Video and Trevor Wallace, Pterodactyl, coming November 14th.
Wallace navigates male birth control, smoking oregano, his unique birds and the bees talk, experiencing his first Buc-ee's, the red flags of dating, and the worst thing you could ever order on a date.
All right, next up on Amazon Prime Video is Maxine's Baby, the Tyler Perry story, coming November 17th.
All right, I will actually be watching this because I am lost in admiration for this performer. It's a documentary that shows how Tyler Perry became the entertainment titan he is today, taking viewers back through his life and the often fraught road to success as he fought tooth and nail to carve out a place for himself in an industry that wasn't always welcoming him with open arms. Let me just say that if you haven't seen Gone Girl, you will look at Tyler Perry in an entirely different light. This person is a brilliant businessman, and he also is, when pushed, one of the best living actors, no joke, just a total package talent.
All right. Also new from Amazon Prime is Twin Love, Season 1, coming November 17th.
What?
Really? Okay. Former WWE divas, Brie and Nikki Garcia, who you know better as the Bellas, but that's their WWE name. And since they don't work there anymore, they can't use it, host this mortifying reality series about twins finding love with other twins. Which doesn't make sense because it's not like they're married to twins. One of them's married to Bryan Danielson, and the other is I don't even know if she's married anymore. Nope, I'm out.
Yep.
Nope.
Bad Amazon Prime. Bad.
Even Peacock didn't want this one.
Or Netflix. It has Netflix stink all over it. Okay, Amazon Freevee has a new Christmas movie coming, and it is called Xmas. It will debut on November 17th. Coming home for the holidays is never a dull experience, especially not for Graham and Allie. When Graham decides to surprise his family by traveling home for Christmas, he is shocked to discover them already celebrating with an unexpected guest of honor, Allie, who also happens to be his ex-fiancée. The two exes battle it out to see who the family will pick to stay through Christmas Day and who must go. This stars Leighton Meester and Robbie Amell. We have a new MGM Plus release this week, and it is Beacon 23 Season 1.
I will tell you up front, the description to this one doesn't do it justice. The trailer is really good and makes it really worth watching. Aster and Halen are drawn to Beacon 23 and face an onslaught of threats. When an object called the Artifact appears, they begin to unravel its mysteries and develop a deep bond just in time to face a deadly AI. This series stars Lena Headey.
All right, Apple TV Plus has Monarch, Legacy of Monsters Season 1, coming November 17th.
Following the thunderous battle between Godzilla and the Titans that leveled San Francisco and the shocking revelation that monsters are real, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters tracks two siblings following their father's footsteps to uncover their family's connection to the secretive organization known as Monarch, a multi-generational epic starring Kurt Russell, and we're here for it, aren't we, Kim?
Oh, sure. I'm always here for anything with Godzilla or other kaiju.
We'll recall that Legendary Pictures that produces the Godzilla movies and its numerous spin-offs and franchises had a falling out with Warner Brothers Discovery after they released their last movie, Godzilla vs. Kong, in theaters and streaming day and date. And so they brought this series to Apple TV Plus instead.
On AMC Plus, we have Blackberry coming November 13th.
As part of their Academy Award campaign, IFC is expanding their movie about Canadian mobile phone sensation BlackBerry into a 3-part miniseries that will play on AMC and AMC Plus.
I'm actually pretty excited about this one. I've been waiting for Blackberry to come to streaming. The fact that it's on AMC Plus is going to make it a little bit challenging for me, but I'm glad to see that IFC is making a Oscar campaign for this one, although it would be weird to say that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia starring Academy Award winner Glenn Howerton.
Yes, it would.
I'm just confused how they're actually doing an Academy Award campaign by turning it into a miniseries.
A lot of Academy voting is simply awareness. If people know that the product exists, that always helps. Expanding it into a 3-part miniseries is a little bit of a buzzy move. It's going to raise awareness. People will remember that this movie that came out over the summer and disappeared almost as quickly as it came out exists, and that helps.
And our final new release for the week is on the Roku channel, and it's the Holiday Shift, a limited series coming November 17th. It follows the intersecting love stories of young mall employees during the holiday season. And I'm telling you, having been a young mall employee during the holiday season, you're too tired to be looking for love. Well, as mentioned, I will be watching Scott Pilgrim.
Yep. I got one of my kids the entire Scott Pilgrim collection for her birthday this year. And so I am going to be watching the series on Netflix with them. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. I'm looking forward to the Albert Brooks documentary on Max. And I'm going to try to figure out how to get to AMC Plus so I can watch Blackberry.
And then I'll be watching the Monarch series, Legacy of Monsters.
3 words, air traffic controller.
So go watch something.